Okay, we are back with a Fox News alert. The Santa Ana winds are picking up right now, and that means there's a chance that the Palisades and the Eaton fires could fan out and potentially start new fires in California. There are currently 3 active wildfires burning in the Los Angeles area, and the death toll remains at 16. An additional 1,000 National Guard troops have been deployed to help battle the flames. A total of 2,500 will be on the ground by tomorrow. Christina Coleman is live on the ground in Pasadena with the very latest. She has been with the volunteers there all day. Hi, Christina, bring us up to date.
Hi, yeah, so we are here with the volunteers who have been helping to support those who lost so much in the Eaton fire, which has just wreaked havoc in both the Altadena and Pasadena areas. You can see they are wrapping up distribution for today, but they collected so many bottles of water, diapers, everything you could think of, clothes, shoes, toilet paper. I mean, these people, some people walked away from their homes or evacuated rather with just the clothes on their back. And so this is just such a difficult time for them right now, a difficult time for so many here. You know, this Eaton fire, it burned through at least 7,000 structures, many homes and businesses, just wiped them off the map. They are reduced to rubble, and it is just so painful for so many families for many, many reasons here. And so a lot of them, they showed up here today to collect what they can for their family. You had different church groups showing up to volunteer, people who were just tired of seeing things on social media, and they're like, you know, I want to get out there and help. I want to do something about this. You have different restaurants showing up, bringing food. You also had people show up here to collect shovels and rakes to go out and help clean up the debris in the areas that they are allowed to. So they are really giving back to this community as they recover from this fire that continues to burn. But fortunately, it is not, hitting those residential areas like it did Tuesday night when it just blasted through neighborhoods, just leveled them, devastating so many communities around here. Back to you.
Christina, it's Guy Benson. Is there any sense, even if it's tentative and guarded, that maybe a corner has been turned here? Maybe things are starting to get a little better?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the firefighters, they have made some progress on this, right? I mean, more than 3,000 firefighter personnel has been assigned to this fire. They've been working around the clock. Yesterday, the containment level, it was at 15%. Today, it was at 27%. So they are making some ground here. They are very hopeful. The concern, though, is those strong Santa Ana winds. We're expecting more of them this week, especially on Tuesday. And obviously, that is a huge concern because we still have peak fire danger here. It is extremely dry, and we're going to have those gusty winds and just so much dry brush. And so what you see here, there could be a lot more of this in the coming weeks. A lot of people donating, giving back what they can to help those in need. Back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you so much for that update. We so appreciate it. As we continue to see the devastation in Southern California, more critics are speaking out against the state's climate change agenda. Edward Ring of the California Policy Center tells the Daily Mail, quote, environmentalist lawsuits have consistently blocked the necessary logging, grazing, and thinning of forests. This allowed Californians' forest density to increase to about 5 times what it had been for the past 20 million years and turned them into tinderboxes. This echoes what Trump has been saying for years. Just listen to this.
You go to other countries in Europe, Austria and Finland and numerous countries, and I talk to the heads, they're forest nations, they're in forests, and they don't have problems like this.
The head of Austria tells me, we have trees that are much more flammable than what you have in California. We never have forest fires because they maintain their forests. And you could revert water up into the hills where you have all the dead forests, where the forests are so brittle.
Well, Californians are starting to wake up to failed far-left policies, including celebrities. Actress Sarah Foster took to X, writing, quote, our reservoirs were emptied by our governor because tribal leaders wanted to save fish. But thank God drug addicts are getting their drug kits. Reality TV star Khloe Kardashian followed her lead, calling LA Mayor Karen Bass a joke for her handling of the fires. And check out this exchange between conservative actress Candace Cameron Bure and Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures.
As a conservative actress in liberal Hollywood, you've dealt with lots of people who voted for Gavin Newsom's agenda. Do you think that changes? Do you think people will vote differently in California?
Oh, Lord, I hope so. I'm praying that it does.
Well, we will see about that if this really changes the vote in California. It is an overwhelmingly Democratic state, but we will see. You know, Jason, by 3 a.m. Wednesday, all three reservoirs, the storage tanks that serve the Palisades area, they have 1 million gallons each of water in those three tanks. They ran dry by 3 a.m. Wednesday. And yet, this is what the incoming California Senator, Adam Schiff, had to say. Listen to this.
My initial understanding is the reservoirs that the Palisades were drawing on, these 3 million gallon reservoirs, were full at the initiation of these fires. But they're intended, frankly, they have the capacity to put out homes that maybe a house, multiple houses, not if the whole town is up in flames.
Okay, so I think the LA Times had printed something that there we go. This is a picture of the reservoirs from the LA Times. They don't exactly look full. This is the incoming California Senator Adam Schiff. Maybe he should spend more time on the state of California rather than going after incoming President Trump.
Well, Adam Schiff has never allowed facts to get in the way of his narrative, and he's trying to spin it like, you know, Gavin Newsom is trying to spin it too, instead of actually dealing with the facts. I find it fascinating that you now have law enforcement and the mayor and others saying, we're going to have a zero tolerance policy. Why didn't they have zero tolerance policies before that? We're going to accelerate the building and the permitting process. Why didn't they do that before the fire? I'm glad that they're doing it now. But I hope they are able to build this city back as fast and as good and as great as possible. But if you think that the federal government or somebody going to just come in and pay for it in totality and everything's going to be the same, it's not going to be like that. They need to take responsibility. This is in Adam Schiff's backyard, and the Democratic policies that they put into place exacerbated this situation to the extreme. And I'm not saying it's all their fault, but these types of things have to be dealt with, and they could have been with better policy.
Well, and here's the thing. You can't just rebuild it and then keep doing the same thing so that it happens over and over again. I really take issue with the forest management. You tackled the water. When President Trump talks about other countries and how they don't have these problems, we've got to really self-reflect here and ask why this is happening in our country, in California, and implement practices. But to Candace Cameron Bure's point, you hope that people will vote for change in California. Many of the people have left. They've gone to greener pastures because they got sick of what was going on there. And the people who are left want to see people like Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom in office. So where do we go from here?
Well, on Karen Bass, because we saw Khloe Kardashian taking a shot at her. We talked yesterday briefly about how the deputy mayor is offline. He's on leave because he's allegedly called a bomb threat into City Hall, under investigation for that. The mayor of the city was gone, out of the country, on the other side of the world as this was all going down. People are pointing to a New York Times interview that she gave when she was running for mayor, in which she promised she would not travel internationally if she were elected mayor. She said she would go to Sacramento, San Francisco, New York, and D.C. That's it, because it's important to be in the city or close to the city, wouldn't go internationally. Well, guess where she was when the worst disaster in decades at least hit her city, over in Africa. So there are a lot of really tough questions coming for her. She keeps punting them, saying that the number one job right now is saving lives and property. Fine. But when that dust settles, it's going to be, I think, a rough time for her politically, and it should be.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at the numbers. She won that mayor's race in L.A. by 9 points over Rick Caruso, the big developer there in the Palisades. You wonder if some people now are maybe having some buyer's remorse. You know, we will see what happens there. Great discussion, guys. On a more positive note, we are seeing how communities are coming together to save each other and their animals. Here's a look at some of these moments. This man dodged fire to release horses that were trapped in the flames. Volunteers of the Pasadena Humane Society have rescued hundreds of house pets, and they are treating a cat's burns. And this heartwarming moment showing a man reuniting with his dog after it went missing for 5 days. Wow, look at that video. Happy dog, happy person. Very nice. It is not just animals. 2 dedicated rescue workers pictured here can be seen saving a man's life. And of course, there have been a lot of these moments throughout the fires. A brave individual seen here climbed up a pole to save an American flag from burning. That is wonderful. And how's this one for inspiring? The family joined together in a song after seeing that the statue of the Virgin Mary had survived the fire. Listen. Regina Coeli, laetare, alleluia, laetare, alleluia, via veneruis immortale. That is just beautiful, amazing. I also want to give a shout out to Ortiz Brothers Moving and Storage. This is a well-known moving company in Southern California. They care so much about the community. They will be collecting donations to be dropped off at their warehouse. The information is on the screen from Monday to Friday between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific time. They are located at 13505 South St. Andrews Place in Gardena, California. They're taking all kinds of things, folks. So I know everybody wants to help. You can take it and drop it there. And they are working with the LAPD to make sure these supplies get into the neighborhoods where they are needed. Good for them.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.